Okay, so I am back, and for this one, I just wanted to talk about the Wild Robot because, yes, technically, right now it is I think, let's see, I believe it's the 30th right now because Monday 1st, Tuesday 2nd, Wednesday 3rd. Or wait, I don't fucking know, but wait, no, okay, today is the 29th, not the 30th. Sunday, which would be today because it rolled over. Sorry, got off of a closing shift, but yeah. Technically, today is Sunday the 29th right now. And on Friday, I went to see The Wild Robot on opening day. And I wanted to talk about it. Because, let's just say, first things first, DreamWorks has released 4 movies this year. All of varying degrees of average to god-awful quality. Kung Fu Panda 4, painfully average, after the first trilogy was absolutely amazing. Megamind 2, one of the worst animated movies anyone has ever seen, and people from everywhere collectively came together to shit on the movie for good reason. Trolls 3, I didn't watch. I'm not going to speak on it. I haven't really heard much about it to go off of. But The Wild Robot, easily the best DreamWorks animated movie of this year. And while it's not that hard to beat the 3 that came before it, it does it in a landslide fashion. And honestly, this may likely be a top 10 favorite DreamWorks movie for me. Let's get the first thing out of the way. The negatives, the things that I don't like. Some of the things, like, there are 2 big things for me. One, the action scenes, which I get that it's a kids movie. You don't want everything to be really emotionally powerful. You do need some breaks. But I definitely think the scenes of just the character... I'm trying to find out how to say this without spoiling it. I feel like the action scenes took us out of the moment more than it should have. We could have had more scenes of just character interaction that wasn't the same emotional way, just like how they are in their normal everyday life. And the B plot that has all the action points kind of just sucked me out of the experience the times that they were happening. And then the second thing that I really don't like about the movie, just the fucking bully plot. Like, I know so many movies do it, and it doesn't ruin the movie for me, but I really don't like fucking bully plots in movies. Oh, he's the odd one out. Let's fuck with them. It just... I know cliches are cliche for a reason, but it's one of the ones that I've never really liked. It adds so little to a character's development. There are different ways to make them feel like an outcast, and there are different ways to show it, instead of just having them repeatedly be told by other characters that they're an outcast. It's definitely frustrating with that being so cliche. However, now to get to the positives. One, I think that this should be obvious. It has some of the best animation I have ever seen. Like, I'm talking up there along the lines of the Spider-Verse movies, Puss in Boots 2, and The Bad Guys. I really wish that Kung Fu Panda 4 had the same animated style that this does. Although, I guess to be fair, Kung Fu Panda 4 did have the lowest budget in the entirety of the series. However, this movie it was one of the most gorgeous things I have seen from any animation whatsoever. The Now, the action scenes, contrary to what you may think, are some of the weaker animated parts. There's no doubt about that. But a lot of that, or I shouldn't even say a lot of it, I'm willing to forgive all that because it's not really an action based movie. I'm not going to say Puss in Boots 2 and Spider Man Into the Spider Verse and Across the Spider Verse are fully action based, but a large part of those movies, even if they're not mostly action based, still revolve around a lot of just movement and action. The Wild Robot revolves more around the core story and a few characters. There's not much fighting other than, like I said before, the action scenes, which really take us away and kind of dumb the story down a bit. But yeah, some of the most beautiful animation I have ever seen. Absolutely loved it. The environmental designs were, oh, like, I don't even know how to describe the environmental designs with just how stunning they were. I could watch an entire 2 hour long film of just going through different areas with that animation style through the world and never not be entertained. It's just the entire way through. There's always something to enjoy because it's just so regal. The serenity, the grace, the majesty. It's fucking amazing. But a lot of people may go into the movie thinking it's about, oh, a robot that ends up being stranded ends up getting attached to the wildlife and tries to save them from a catastrophe. I am glad that the trailers misled me. I'm glad that the trailers misled a lot of people. Because at its core, The Wild Robot is a movie about parenthood. Whether it be adoptive, birth, step, whatever kind. It's a movie about parenthood, finding one's place, and ignoring instinct and societal norms to better life for your child. And this is where the movie really excels. It has some of its strongest moments just being interactions between Roz and the Gosling, which I don't have any issues saying that because they were both in the trailer. Some of the moments are just, I may not be a parent, but they still really hit home. Like, especially for, I feel like part of the reason why they impact me so much is because even though I'm not a parent, I put myself in that role of being a protector. I care for those around me and I do everything I can for them. And the person who that's most prevalent with is easily my niece. Because my sister is doing an absolutely phenomenal job. She's doing an amazing job raising the best little girl there is. No hate to my sister at all. But hate to my niece's father? Absolutely. Didn't want anything to do with her. And left her before she was even born. My niece has had a lot of struggles, but she's always gone through them. And I've spent as much time as I could every time she came over because I fucking love that little girl more than anything. Like, she means more to me than anything at all. She's my little crazy girl, and seeing how the movie shows the relationships between Roz and the Gosling and how it develops, it's just, it really does remind me of my niece. So that's probably the big reason why it hits home. But even if I didn't have the relatability, it would still be just as great of a film with just as strong emotional moments. And I feel like that's part of what makes the movie so strong, because the core is the emotion. The core is the relationship between Roz and the Gosling. And it just works so well. Like, seeing a robot have to defy her instincts to properly raise a Gosling into a full-fledged goose that is able to overcome their disabilities and nature's intent of leaving it behind to die. It's really strong in the moment when you notice it and it hits you right in the heart. Just, this movie is brilliant. This is the first time that I'm trying not to spoil something, but I absolutely love it. If I had to give it a score 9 out of 10, I've already said the only 2 issues that I have with it, but that's still not enough to bring it down to an 8. I fucking love this movie, man. DreamWorks really stepped it up with The Wild Robot this year, and I know that they're an inconsistent company. They always have been. They always will be. Like, fuck. They went from having The Bad Guys and Puss in Boots 2 in 2022, so then, after that until now, Ruby Gillman, Kung Fu Panda 4, Megamind 2, Trolls World Tour. 4 movies that ranged from average to god-awful, and finally, an easy top 10 movie from them with The Wild Robot. If you have not watched it, which is understandable because as I'm recording this, it's only the 3rd day that it's out, I highly suggest you watch it at some point. Whether it be in theaters or waiting for it to come to DVD or streaming, this is not a movie that you want to miss out on. Take my word and watch it at some point whenever possible. You will not regret it. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this episode of the podcast. See you in the next video. Bye.